Hello, my name is JRL Pixels, and I am an indie digital artist who has a knack for pixel art. This is my first ever discussion, story time, speed paint. Now don't worry, I won't always be this anime character, but I figured what better way to show off the art than to use its product. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to talk about at first, whether it should be my background or basic introduction to me as an artist, but I figured this piece of art to be a fascinating topic within itself for multiple reasons. Originally, I intended making Valentine's assets to be sold on Etsy, but I figured I wouldn't have them completed before the deadline, so instead I decided to keep the theme of love and make assets related to one of my favorite anime called Chobits. For those who might not be familiar, Chobits is an anime created by a women manga team called Clamp in the early 2000s. It's about a young man who falls in love with an android-like computer called a Persicom. He finds a synthetic woman abandoned on the side of the road, and after activating her, the only thing she can say is chi, which becomes her name. I won't spoil anything, but the rest of the anime is about finding love, the ethical questions of loving an AI, abstinence, the damage that AI dependency has on our society. Pretty topical for a 2000 anime, right? Especially now in the year 2024, where we have actual AI companions on our experience incredible breakthroughs in computer learning. Recently, I had a discussion with someone about how AI is potentially replacing artists, authors, and creators, and how AI is a danger to human creativity. It alerted me to a great irony, at least for me. AI, androids, synthetic beings have somewhat recently been an enormous source of inspiration for me. Not only my love for Chobits, but other similar science fictions, including AI and artificial beings. It began almost immediately in college after I created a monster inspired by HAL 9000 from the 2001 Space Odyssey. After that, I especially became obsessed with robotic girls, getting inspired from things like Chobits, Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis, and its original black and white version. Many of these would lead me to creating my own AI, a person named Autonomy, which was showcased at a portfolio show. Now, despite the fear, the dangers, and the potential for being replaced, there is a fascination which fuels that imagination. That makes me wonder and contemplate if we aren't looking at the wall. If we aren't just letting our fears of being replaced get to the better of us. I question if AI can be useful for creators instead of it being our replacement. It leads me to dabble in AI and attempts to use it as art reference and ideas for my own pixel creations. Now, my background is in digital media, but I was in school before the breakthrough in AI, so that got me wondering if they discuss or include AI in the curriculum. Many tech schools work in partnership with Adobe, and now Adobe has AI included in their software. So I messaged my old art professor, and I'm surprised to find out that they only ever talk about its ethical use, and the educational establishments are recognizing it as art theft. After talking to my professor about how it's affected the art community, he gave me a petition to stop AI and sign, to which I gladly contributed, and I will leave a link to that petition in the comments down below. But it still made me think about how far can you take creative liberties. A tempting little devil appeared on my shoulder, and I had the idea of using AI to create backgrounds, especially ones used for things like visual novels. I know many artists who search through the net for photographs or even purchase cheap backgrounds, assets for their products. Except for the paid assets, creators are essentially stealing backgrounds and are editing them in small ways to make them their own. I wonder, how is this any better? It's not quite as bad as AI, but I feel like it follows a similar situation, and the temptation of immediately creating a generated scene seems far too alluring in terms of time and money. I haven't crossed that threshold, but it still made me think about how thin the line it just is how creators and the internet operate. Our brains are computers, and they operate in a similar way to how AI functions. We have a limited database of memory, which is also limited by skill. I know many artists who look at others' work for reference. In fact, it's highly encouraged and one of the best ways to grow as an artist and develop your style. I know so many pixel artists whose work has influenced my own style of animations. Now, you see where my headspace has been. It's all conjecture, but it's been a frequent topic of mental discussion. I spent a lot of time thinking to myself. Now, going back to Chobits, it's been a month of me working on these assets, which involves looking at a lot of references and drawing sketches of Chi and Samomo, completely by happenstance. All 8 volumes of the manga just so happened to find their ways into my hands. After going to my nearby comic store, I found the complete set out in the open at a bargain. Now remember, this is a manga and anime that's over 20 years old, so the odds of running across this manga currently are astronomical. It's as though it was waiting there for me. Now, I keep running into image of Chi all over the place, in the most unlikely places that data and advertisements can't touch. Within a week I read the whole 8 books, and while I have many ideas its meaning in my life, I can't be for sure. I'd love any interpretations in the comments, even if it's just calling me a delusional weeb. Please like, dislike, comment, share, call me a genius or a loser, whichever floats your boat, and I'll see you in the next video.